La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE Smackdown every Saturday night. My name is John Zindel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, why don't you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
It's a SmackDown heading into a very quickly created and booked premium live event. What were we going to see on this show 8 days before WrestlePalooza? Without further ado, John, don't bury the lead. What's our top story from SmackDown for September 12th, 2025?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. No, no, no. We don't bury the lead. And the lead is the main event. We have Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre picks up the win in what I would call a really big win for him as a result of the fact that it feels like every time I'm watching him, he's either losing or beating the jobber. So, good for him to pick up a win against Randy Orton, who doesn't take a lot of losses. Dom, what did you think about this match between RKO and Drew McIntyre, and Drew picking up the win after a little bit of fiasco with the referee?
Little bit of fiasco. Yes, this match goes about 20 minutes. We got some long matches on this SmackDown. Not many of them, but they gave them a lot of ring time.
Mhm.
20 minutes, two longtime veterans, multi-time champions, guys who've been A-listers at different times of their career, have been on top of the company, carrying premium live events. And I'm with you. I thought this was a great match. I like that Drew did get a win, especially since, as we found out post match here, when Drew looked like he was lining up Randy Orton for a Claymore through the announce table like he had done to Cody Rhodes a few weeks ago. Cody Rhodes' music hits. He runs down to make the save, and he tells Drew they've got a match for WrestlePalooza. So both world titles, it looks like, are going to be on the line. I think, no, actually, no, I'm sorry. Seth Rollins is not, he's wrestling, but his title is not on the line. So this puts one of the world title belts on the line for WrestlePalooza. Cody
Mhm.
Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. Good match. I don't want to sell short what happened in the match, though, and just leave it to the post match big announcement with Cody Rhodes' return. But like you said, there was a little bit of ref shenanigans. Randy hit that rope hanging DDT as Drew was trying to re-enter the ring. They had been battling on the floor several times throughout the match. Randy looked like he wanted to punt Drew McIntyre as Drew was slowly getting up to his hands and knees. The ref stepped between them and said, like, no, you can't do that. That's new for me.
Yeah.
Super kicks are kicks to the head. Enziguris are kicks to the head. Alistair Black's spinning heel kick is a kick to the head. When did they not do kicks to the head? Not like I'm cheering for a kick to the head, but I see several of them in every match we watch.
I've
So
never
I don't know why the ref was stopping. It's like, no, don't kick him in the head. Like, whatever. But the ref gets in the way. Randy's furious at him, but the ref backs off, and now Randy charges anyway for the punt. Like, so what's the ref doing? Like, what was the whole point? Was it just to get in Randy's way for like a half a minute? Drew avoids the punt, then nearly throws Randy into the ref, but Randy holds up because he's the good guy. Randy turns around, walks right into a Claymore for the pinfall. Little bit of a confusing ending, but I don't want it to take away from what was a hard-hitting match between two of the bigger physically wrestlers in the company, and also two of the bigger names who've been around a long time. These guys are a couple of decade stalwarts here in the WWE. What say you about anything that happened here or the aftermath with Cody Rhodes?
Dom, I was the finish was so weird, and I agree. Like, I've never seen the ref stop someone from hitting their opponent while they're on the ground when they're not
Yeah.
like obviously injured. That sometimes they'll do that. Like the heel will be like, "Oh no, I'm injured." It's like, "Oh no, stop," something like that. But
Seth Rollins cough. Seth Rollins.
I've never seen them do like oh, you're gonna do the thing where you boot him in the head. Like you can't do that. Or he would let him just kind of do the move and then throw him out. Maybe if that was illegal, but it's not illegal. So whatever.
Randy didn't have a chair or a kendo stick or something.
It leaves a little bit of a taste in your mouth. That's not so great because it's not. It was a good match up to till then, but hey, the rest of the match was good. Randy Orton playing the classics, playing the hits, doing the 10 punches.
Mhm.
Love the 10 punches. The crowd knows to count. And then also, Randy did something like I really like, and so he did the 4 corners.
Yes.
So going to all 4 corners to engage everyone in the stadium, because wherever you're sitting, you're at least around one of the corners. So I always love that spot when you do, when you hit the guy's head up against each 4 corner. Like that's just old school baby stuff. That's good. Baby face stuff. That's good. And I liked when Drew was laid out, he did a move to his one hand, his other hand, his right foot, and his left foot. Like he kind of just went through the whole body and did hand, foot, foot. And I was like,
that's an old thing, isn't it? Have you seen, do you remember Randy Orton doing that? He would just do the stomp around the guy's perimeter, hitting all extremities.
Yeah. I don't know if that's Randy Orton specifically, but that has kind of an old school vibe to it as well. But like an oldie but a goodie. I can't think of what wrestler.
One of the Garvins. I heard someone call it the Garvin stomp.
But so I thought that was cool. And I think it's just like you can be a good creative wrestler without doing something that's so insane, right? Like that's just good creative wrestling. And Cody returned. I do have to speak my piece here. I didn't know he was gone because he had won the title in SummerSlam, and I just had assumed maybe he was doing stuff on Raw and wasn't around. And
new baby.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks off, new baby. Yep.
Because he only had a couple. He was gone for a couple of weeks. He wasn't gone for like several months.
No, I just thought he was doing the Roman Reigns.
Yes, I thought right. Roman just shows up whenever now.
We saw that for 1,300 consecutive days. Guy wins a match. We don't see him for a few weeks.
Yeah. But, that does make sense. He had the baby. That's right.
Yeah, for very well-timed little break in the action for Cody Rhodes. But good to have him back. I mean, they're trying to do a premium live event, I think, in the Indianapolis Dome there, so a huge venue. They got to bring out all the stops for it. John Cena's going to be there facing Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. And now they've got one of the world title belts on the line. So good on them.
Yeah. Anything else you had from this match you want to call out?
Yeah, the ending was also a little screwy because if they wanted to find an excuse for Randy to lose the match, they already had that. They had been selling for most of the match that Randy had tweaked his left knee, and then Drew found out about it and was working it over. He'd been going after Randy's left knee, so Randy had a good out for why he wouldn't win the match. We didn't need a weird, confusing thing with the ref. Randy was selling it very well for as long as he did it. At the end, he stopped, but for most of the match, it was part of the ring psychology that Randy's trying to protect his left knee, and Drew, whenever he can, is going after it. Drew McIntyre's applying a figure 4.
Yeah,
I haven't seen many figure 4s from Drew McIntyre. He was doing arm holds on Randy, wrist locks, forearm things. And then at one point he did it to his left leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's applying like an arm bar to Randy's left leg. So good stuff from Drew there. I enjoyed all of it. It also worked in Randy's favor when Drew went for a figure four and Randy kicked him off into the ring post. So it was really good back and forth between two guys who know how to do it. I'm glad they gave him a long match. I just wish that there wouldn't have been that one confusing thing with the ref. But I liked a lot what they were doing. They went to the floor, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a few times where they go out to the floor. Drew slams Randy into the announce table, then goes back to the knee. That's when Randy Orton barely beat the 10 count to re-enter the ring. It looked like Drew was going to get the count out win. You know, he's posing to the crowd as Randy slides under the bottom rope. Typical heel stuff. He's celebrating before the match is over.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good stuff happening. Hard-hitting stuff. I liked the match.
Yeah, I
thought
agree.
both guys looked good.
Yeah, I think it's cool that Drew got a win.
Yep.
It feels a little bit like he's been kind of put to the side a bit, if you will.
Mhm.
Like he hasn't been in really major storylines like he was with CM Punk and he hasn't been a real threat for the title. But I think, now that he knocked off Randy Orton, that's a big deal.
Well, and that win, this sets up why he gets to wrestle Cody Rhodes for the title at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew's been that kind of wrestler for most of his career. I mean, there was a time when he was supposed to be this next star. Then he's out of the company and he's in TNA as Drew Galloway, which we might hear another mention of during Cheap Heat. Little tease there for later. But he's in TNA for a while as Drew Galloway, doing well over there. But then he comes back to the company, finally gets a run with the belt. It's during the COVID shutdown where he's not able to wrestle in front of crowds. So Drew's had a weird run as a guy who's at or near the top, and yet it doesn't feel like he's ever had that Randy Orton type of run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, good for him. He's doing some of the best work of his career. He's awesome on the mic. His character work is excellent. He's the heel who tells it to you straight.
Right.
Like us on Don't Bury the Lead. We tell it to you straight. We may not be heels, but yeah.
We tell it to you straight. And let me tell you something, Dom. I think that'll take us right out of the lead into the follow. Interestingly enough, this show does not have a lot of matches, but as you mentioned, they're long. So we've got two more sizable matches.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to? Well, maybe I'll just kick us off here.
Sure.
Let's go with, I think, probably the biggest stakes, women's title up for, we have a title shot for Jade Cargill in a rematch here. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. Tiffany Stratton is the champ. This one was pretty fun, and we get a count out.
Double count out.
Yeah, double count out. And the winner is nobody.
The winner is Nia Jax, who attacked both wrestlers after the count out, including an annihilator to Tiffany Stratton. So I guess they're setting up maybe a triple threat match for Tiffany's title at some point. Before the whole thing with Nia Jax and basically setting up for a future match between all three of them, two things about this match itself. Number one, it was better than their match at, I think, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
It went longer, too. This was in the 11-minute range. A lot of wrestling, a lot of action. This was better than their SummerSlam match. And in fact, even with the double count out, this was close to me saying women's match of the year on SmackDown. This was a great match.
Yeah.
This was fantastic. If they had a clean finish in the ring, no matter who had won, you'd be saying, "What? This is match of the year contender for SmackDown for the weekly TV show." This was a great match. I wondered watching the SummerSlam match who was calling the match, they only let him go 7 minutes. I wondered if no one was calling the match and they had to just script everything in the back and then just memorize their lines. And that's why the match only went 7 minutes. It looked like there was a little more feeling out of the crowd and what was going on. It looked a few times where maybe Tiffany Stratton was calling instructions to Jade, like when Jade had her in a chin lock for a few seconds. They had the camera in there. It looked like Tiffany was shouting instructions and Jade was kind of acknowledging. They each tried playing to the crowd. The crowd went back and forth. At the beginning, they were into Jade. And then a little later, Jade's getting booed. And Tiffany Stratton's getting more of the cheers. So that was fun that the crowd in Norfolk, Virginia was maybe on the fence with the two of them and then like picked a side later in the match. But I liked what both of these women were doing. This was a great wrestling match. This was a classic TV show wrestling match.
Yeah, and the thing is, totally agreed about this being better than their SummerSlam match, because I do feel like their SummerSlam match, it just left you wanting a little bit more, and they cut it short, and it might have been a timing thing, and they're both of them aren't the most experienced, great, amazing workers that they can be put together a 7-minute match, and it's like fantastic. But yeah. So, anyways, I like this one a lot. There were a couple things I want to call out.
Sure.
So they did the dive to the commercial break, and I hadn't seen it in so long, and I had really thought we'd moved on from this spot, but they did it to me. So no big deal because we don't watch it live anymore. I just skip through. But and also they had this picture-in-picture during that moment, so I don't mind the picture-in-picture. But they had that really good point about Jade selling to the crowd. I noticed that Tiffany and Jade were both. I think Jade specifically does a good job at selling, and not selling too much to the crowd, but getting them engaged with her. So I think she particularly knows when to kind of shout at the crowd when they're not saying anything to get them to kind of cheer her on or get her going. Couple other things here. So I don't know if you saw this, but there was a sloppy counter of a suplex to an awkward corner spot. Like basically Jade, they do this really awkward suplex reversal and Jade ends up in the corner and her back is to the corner, but really her front's supposed to be toward the corner because Tiffany hits her with a roll up, but Tiffany kind of rolls her up from as her back's up against the corner. So Tiffany does a good job they kept do a good job like cleaning it up because she still like gets a kind of a cradle on her for a pinning combination. But really, I think Jade's supposed to be belly first toward the corner and then get rolled up. That's just what I thought from that exchange.
Could have been a variation. I like the fact that each of them were doing more countering of the other one's moves. Jade caught Tiffany Stratton a couple of times coming off the ropes. One with they called it the boss woman slam.
Yeah.
Instead of the boss man slam, the big boss man. She also caught her for a fall away slam off of an Irish whip. And then Jade did her kip up. That was early in the match. Tiffany went for her cartwheel into the Alabama slam, but Jade was too strong and blocked it and set it up for a power bomb. But Tiff countered into a Frankensteiner. And then the handspring back elbow in the corner. And then a shotgun drop kick, which is when Jade is already on the mat, seated on the mat, that little shotgun drop kick that they do. And then the top turnbuckle swanton, which looks like it doesn't hurt at all unless it hurts the person doing it because Tiffany flips so late.
It's scary.
She turns her body. It's the gymnastics thing showing off like how quickly I can flip at the very end. But it also makes the move less impactful because now she's got to miss the opponent completely.
It almost looks like it almost looks like she does land head first on her, which is insane. But she tucks just before, right?
Yeah, and it looks like it doesn't do anything. Like the whole idea of the swanton is that your feet and your butt can hit the mat on the other side of the opponent, but it looks like your back landed on the opponent. When Tiffany does that turn so late, her entire body's got to clear her opponent. So it's impressive to watch her do it, but it's not as good a wrestling move if she just did a much more even flow flip and just hit the spot better. But extremely athletic, got a 2 count out of that. They fought on the apron for a little bit, a couple of times. Tiffany Stratton tripped Jade on the apron, then went back into the rim, went for a baseball slide. And this one I thought looked awkward. Tiff goes for the baseball slide, but because the next move was supposed to be Jade catching her and then doing the face plant into the apron, Tiffany Stratton had to kind of turn herself onto her own stomach as she slid, which is the kind of thing you wouldn't do if you were trying to execute the move. Like that should have been up to Jade to pick her up and then turn her into some other move, not to have Tiffany Stratton kind of do the move in a way that's making you scratch your head and go, what was she trying to do? Other than just set up Jade's offense. So that's when I don't like the spot festiness of things, is when people look like they're doing a move just to set up the other person's move. Like the other person should have to counter your move as you try to execute the move as if you want to do it.
Yeah, there should be some struggle, right?
Yeah,
Almost
and that's
like
why I don't mind the spot that you called out before, where it looked like Tiffany had to like turn and twist Jade into the roll up, because that looks like she's got to actually manipulate her opponent to get her into the move. Like Jade didn't just set it up like, oh, it's your turn to do a move.
It's a little bit like, dare I say, the Logan Paul effect, where sometimes he isn't doing the move so crisp, but because they're not crisp, they look realer, because he's like car crashing it up sometimes with his moves, and it's like, oh man, that looked nasty, and then you're like, oh, it was nasty, and right, and even like with Tiffany Stratton, kind of just instinctually, cradling her up and then rolling her over, it looks more real than, let's just say, like the roll up that you would expect, that little schoolboy roll up that you would expect. So totally agreed with like the realism sometimes with those reversals.
Now they do get a lot of their big shots in. Tiffany hit that rolling fireman's carry slam, and she did it on it's not like she did it on Nia Jax, but Jade is a big wrestler.
She's big.
She did that rolling fireman's carry slam, but Jade recovered to stop the moonsault attempt and hit her version of the Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2 count. Jade a little later goes for a choke slam. Tiffany rolls her up for 2. Tiffany follows with finally hitting the Alabama slam, but Jade avoids the top turn moonsault, rolls out of the way. Tiffany lands on her feet. Jade hits the pump kick, but both women are down on the mat. This was 10 minutes into the match about. It was a big action-packed match. I enjoyed how each of them was working. This was a leveling up for each of them. It was a leveling up for Jade to be in a match like this where she has to sell and where she's gauging the crowd reaction and where not everything looks like it's so cleanly scripted. And it's a leveling up for Tiffany Stratton in the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this is the match that each of them gets to put on their resume, for the people behind the scenes to say, look, we can do it.
Yeah, it is definitely a match where Tiffany looked like a champ and Jade looked like a good investment by the WWE with the time they put in with her, and that there's not much more you want out of the match than that, especially because they did have that kind of a big fight feel, if you will. It starts at 9:00. They were previewing it. It's like, yeah, this is the one that you're going to want to watch tonight. And it definitely was, right?
That's a shorts.
There it is. YouTube shorts. We're coming, baby. We're coming.
I'd leave it on that point that you made. Let's where else do you want to go on the show?
I do have one more thing I wanted to talk about, was the Alabama Slam.
Okay.
They botched the Alabama Slam. Didn't look good because Jade's so tall that when she did it, they somehow, I don't know whose fault it was, but in the pay-per-view, Jade landed feet first before the slam and then went back. But this time, Tiffany got her up higher and whipped her down on the Alabama slam, and it looked nasty because it's Jade's so big, and just to see her take that bump, you're like, whoa, you
Yep.
know. But
Yeah, it looked good in this match.
yeah. So kudos to Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. I know there's some whispers and rumors that we'll have Jade Cargill on the show one day, and I want to say all the good things about her. So if she looks back, she'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'll listen to these guys." No,
Oh.
but seriously, I think that we're not just glazing Jade for no reason. It was a good match, but we have one more match, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
We got Sami Zayn versus Rey Fenix. And
Mm-hmm.
Sami Zayn picks up the win, retains the U.S. title over Rey Fenix. What did you think of this match?
I like the idea of bringing back the U.S. Championship Open Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy said, the week prior he had wrestled John Cena in this kind of match before Brock Lesnar. Lesnar broke it up and built some more heat for the Cena Lesnar WrestlePalooza match. But to me, this isn't taking it all the way back to John Cena. This is taking it back to last year with LA Knight.
Right.
I like having Sami Zayn in this position where, as U.S. champ, he's giving other low to mid card guys a chance to come out and show what they can do. It's almost like the Ricochet Memorial Award, but Sammy's not losing.
Mm-hmm.
He's still letting the other guy look fantastic out there. So this is the Rey Fenix highlight reel, even though he doesn't wind up winning the match. This match goes again close to about 20 minutes. They had to get a bunch of commercials in here because the opening segment ran a while. But I enjoyed the match. Maybe it went a little too long, like Sami Zayn versus Rey Fenix. Did they need a pay-per-view length match? Shouldn't Sami Zayn be putting away Rey Fenix in a little sooner than 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the work in the ring, I thought it was great. I think this is a good use of Sami Zayn as champion. Let him go in there, and Sami will make the other guy look great, even if Sami winds up winning the match.
Yeah.
Do you like Sami in this role? Do you like this match, and do you like Sami in this role?
I have liked it so far. I think it's been pretty much, I just like Sami Zayn going over and being the face that you want to be, like wrestling other guys, giving them other opportunities. We'll have to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, really, I always kind of felt a little bit like Sammy's time to win the title was when he was with the Bloodline. And he's just been kind of wrestling half decent matches ever since then. Like always pretty solid work from him. But I always felt like his big opportunity to win the title was then. And I feel like that ship has sailed. And this is a good secondary title for him to hold on to be that working champ. And yeah, I think so far so good. I do have to say one thing. Rey Fenix in AEW was a way better. He just was like, he seemed like a next big time guy.
Really? Rey Fenix, the smaller of the two in that tag team.
Yeah. And it's really been strange the way that he's been utilized in the WWE.
Okay.
It just feels like he randomly came in and they did nothing with him, and all the heat's off of him. And he was really good with his brother, Penta. Yeah, it's the Lucha Bros. Like, they were really good. And then, like, if one of them would get hurt or something, they'd have good singles matches. And they're like, wow, they could be a great tag team and great singles. But I don't know. It feels like it's a little like he's already kind of like when you saw Rey Fenix versus Sami Zayn, you're like, yeah, okay, so Rey Fenix is going to lose. And he's already kind of assumed that role of guy that's going to take losses. So
wasn't this match good for him, though? Because in WWE, he hasn't had a lot of TV time or success. So, I mean, isn't this good for him to get out there and wrestle so long with Sami Zayn, where Rey Fenix gets to hit all these moves. He gets to hit all his spots. He also gets to lock up with a veteran there who knows how to call a match and knows how to work the crowd, understands ring psychology. I mean, there are few people better than Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn once the match starts.
Yeah. I just feel like usually when they bring them in from another company and people know who they are, they typically give them a bigger push than Rey Fenix got. Penta definitely got a bigger push than Rey got. You know,
Yes.
Penta was really killing it in the Royal Rumble. He was getting wins before he came in. He still feels like he's going to win a title at some point.
He could win an IC title as a singles
IC,
wrestler. He was
yeah.
close.
And it feels like Rey hasn't gotten that same amount of love. And I don't know if it's just there's other guys in line or what the deal is. But to your point, yeah, it's good if you can go out, you get some TV time, you make the most of your TV time, and hopefully now we can start to see him get utilized in some way.
Yep. Match ends when Sammy ducks a leaping spin kick in the corner, then hits the exploder suplex, and then finally hits the haluva kick that he had tried a couple times before and hadn't been able to connect on for the pinfall. Rey, though, looked great. He super kicked Sammy as Sammy came off the top turnbuckle, looking for maybe a double axe handle. Rey got several 2 counts, at least half a dozen 2 counts in this. He hit the flipping dive to the floor, but then also in the ring, a top turnbuckle crossbody and got a 2 count out of it. He countered the Blue Thunder Bomb with a Frankensteiner for a 2 count. And yes, now that Steiner's kid is in the WWE, I'm back to calling it the Frankensteiner. I'm not pretending that it's some sort of Spanish move.
No, it's a Frankensteiner, baby.
It's the Scott Steiner invented it. It's the Frankensteiner.
He at least said it did, so I'll believe anything Scotty says.
I do remember him using it back in the old WCW NWA days. So yes. Rey did a top turnbuckle moonsault on a standing Sammy. So it was like a moonsault crossbody and got a 2 count out of it. He hit a chin breaker and then followed Sammy into the corner, but Sammy surprised him with an exploder suplex, went for the haluva, but Rey turned it into another Frankensteiner and then went right into the sit-down cover, but Sammy kicked out at 2.5. Rey looked good here. So do you think Rey Fenix uses this match to build something, maybe a mid-card run of some sort? Or does he drop back into the lower card and we don't see him for a few weeks? Like, is this something Rey Fenix can build on, or is this was just like, hey, we're going to throw you a bone, have the match of your life, and just enjoy catering for the next month?
Dom, I must say, the man with 3 H's sometimes watches the show. So
He does.
I will say it from my perspective. It would be nice to start to see him a little bit more on TV because I know what he can do in AEW. I thought he was really good in AEW, and he was like a future guy that was like could have been a pillar for the company that they had, and was a really good mid-card guy. So I was like, when he gets to WWE, I'm excited to see what he can do.
All right.
But one more thing, or 2 more things I wanted to call out. It was weird seeing Sami Zayn be more physically imposing than his opponent.
Yes.
He's either wrestling monsters or guys that are just a little bit more fit than him. He is like a thin, normal build about him.
Right.
He's athletic, and I think he's believable. And usually he's just really selling his ass off, as you have mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really like, he's just smaller than most of the guys. So
he's
weird.
A big human, but he's a small wrestler.
Yes, exactly. If you walk by him at a ShopRite, you'd be like, "Yo, that dude's big." But if you're like seeing him in the ring, he's smaller than most of the WWE freak shows, right? So it was interesting to see him against a smaller opponent. And I also, the second thing I want to point out, there was a "This is awesome" chant, and I thought of you immediately. because I know what your feelings on this is awesome chant.
I'm getting mixed feelings from it. I understand appreciating the work of both guys, but I mean, if you're really behind one of the wrestlers, and maybe that's also the problem of having two baby faces, because Ray Phoenix isn't a heel.
No.
Is you're not going to cheer boo, so at some point you just cheer for both guys.
Yeah, it's always good for wrestlers to somehow get people to understand what to chant when they wrestle. Like CM Punk's a great example. It's just such a fun thing to chant. So that's probably 9 times out of 10 why people are chanting, right? They just like, oh, that's an easy chant. So if you can get people to kind of latch on to some sort of chant for you, then you can make it about you rather than like a general, this is good, right?
Yeah. Sami Zayn in this role, this is the kind of thing that, and they've already, I think, announced that next week's U.S. Championship Open Challenge, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being an open challenge if you book it a week in advance, but it's going to be Carmelo Hayes. So this is could be another real fun match with Sami Zayn. This is the kind of thing that you can't do if the U.S. title is on Jacob Fatu or Solo Sikoa, right? Or even Logan Paul.
Yeah, you can't do it.
This is the kind of thing that you only do if it's LA Knight or Sami Zayn. Not even Shinsuke Nakamura. Of the last 3 years, this is the kind of thing that you could only do if it's LA Knight or Sami Zayn, a veteran who knows how to wrestle and can look strong while also letting the other guy get his highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
So you're elevating guys in the lower card and giving them a chance to shine rather than just squashing them because you're the U.S. champ.
Yeah. Any other segments you want to talk about with the show?
With the show, yeah, let's do some other segments. There were only 3 matches, but we got an almost match for the Women's U.S. Championship. It was supposed to be Julia versus BFAB, but Julia's, business manager, Kiana James, attacked BFAB before the bell, and then it was a 2-on-1 beatdown until Michin made the save. So it looks like they're playing up Michin versus Julia for a rivalry for the Women's U.S. Championship. That could be fun. I like that. Little bit of heat also between The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. The Miz wants them to be a team. He wants to be the mentor to Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes thinks that maybe the Miz's plans are holding him back. So that's a little bit interesting going on backstage. And then, of course, the biggest thing going on backstage, or at least out of the wrestling ring, is what opened the show.
And what is in the title?
In the title of our Don't Bury the Lead live stream show tonight. It's Brock Lesnar. And what was the wardrobe malfunction, John? We don't bury the lead, but sometimes we bury the title.
We bury the title here. It looks like Brock Lesnar split his pants.
Yes.
When he did the F5 to R-Truth, which is rather predictable.
Ron Cena.
Ron Cena. Right. I'm sorry. When he did it to Ron Cena, and he really did a great job playing it up and just mooning the crowd and pointing to his butt and stuff like that. So, yeah, he understood the assignment once he split his pants. He kind of corpsed a little bit and started laughing, and then he just went with it, like, oh well, I'm just gonna laugh through it. And
not much of a heel move though. Like he should have been like yelling at the crowd, like "shut up," instead of like hamming it up with the crowd. Like, yeah, suddenly he's Seth Rollins as Urkel on that NFL show when he split his pants.
Right. Yes. Wow. Great reference. Yeah. So
we did it. We covered it. Everybody else is dressed like it's the summer. Seth Rollins is in a sweater looking like Urkel, and he splits his pants.
It was interesting. So when we were doing the 3-hour shows, I would almost always skip the opening talking segment because I was like, I just need to get through this.
Yes.
And when I saw tonight, or last night rather, when I was watching and I saw Lesnar come out, I'm like, oh, I'm interested in what he has to say. And then R-Truth came out. I was like, well, I gotta watch this. R-Truth and Lesnar. R-Truth is just so reliable.
Yes.
If he comes out, I need to watch the segment. I have never been like, this wasn't so great. Anytime R-Truth comes out, he's
Mhm.
just so damn reliable. And with Brock Lesnar, he looks crazy. He looks somehow crazier than he ever has, because he's still as huge as he ever has been, but he's got like the long hair and the cowboy hat, like the mullet and all that. So he's just got like, it's almost like he's got more accessories now, So he's just like, it seems like he's got more of a personality because he's got like the cowboy hat on and stuff.
For a while, he had a man bun. It was this weird image.
Yeah, right.
Like scariest guy in all of professional wrestling has a man bun.
It has like a hipster South Brooklyn look, like a New York City hipster, like in Brooklyn or something like that, or South, Fishtown in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, does he have colored, tinted sunglasses? Does he roll his own cigarettes? What's going on?
Does he roll his own cigarettes? 100%.
I like that. I also like that the crowd was booing the heck out of Brock Lesnar, gave him "you suck" chance. He didn't even start talking for a couple of minutes there, and that's when R-Truth's music hit, and that's when R-Truth starts talking first, and then Lesnar talks. And I got to tell you, if you were just not watching TV and just listening to them, you would think that R-Truth's voice was coming from the much bigger human being.
Right.
Brock does not have the big monster voice.
His voice is so weird for his body. Like, if you were to like talk to him on the phone and then you see him, you know what I mean? You'd be like, oh my God. Yeah, and the thing was, for years he used to wrestle and not talk. And then I would hear him talk. I'd be like, geez, what is that?
Yeah.
But I mean, he backs it up with his legit toughness.
Yes, it reminds me of Jade Cargill almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like big, scary human as a wrestler. And then they talk, and it's very trebly. There's not a lot of bass to the voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and especially for Brock trying to be a heel.
Yeah.
But as an athlete, he's fantastic. We did a couple of years ago, who would win a real fight, where we took all of the men's title holders at the time and put them into an 8-person bracket, and we decided that Brock Lesnar would win a real fight based on all the people we had in the WWE at that time. So
I wonder if I like repackage that now that I know what I'm doing, if that would get any traction, like as far as like the thumbnails and stuff. Because I put a lot of time and effort into that.
Yes.
And it was when we first were starting out, so it kind of didn't do so great. But yeah.
Yeah, it was 2023. Bobby Lashley was still there.
Bobby Lashley was there.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had the tag titles. Austin Theory was in there to get squashed in the first round because he was the U.S. champ at the time.
Oh, wow. Poor Austin Theory. That's when he was U.S. champ, and was he a very long reigning U.S. champ too?
He had a pretty good run. He was apparently well liked by Vince McMahon for the look.
Yes.
Decent worker and had the look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, Brock Lesnar, legitimate tough guy. Now setting up again this WrestlePalooza big almost main event with John Cena. May be the main event. You don't know. Unusual. I heard that Brock Lesnar is on a very limited contract with WWE this time around. So for him to have one of his appearances be on SmackDown when we already know Cena's not on SmackDown. I mean, Cena announced the week before that this was his last time on SmackDown. I don't know if that gets changed sometime in November or December, getting closer to it, but I would imagine that after the Lesnar feud, Cena maybe goes to Raw for the last little bit and tries to bump up the Raw ratings. I don't know if there's anybody there on his list that he could wrestle. Maybe AJ Styles.
Yeah, that would be a good one to see. I wonder
maybe
if
they set up a Gunter.
I wonder if that'll be the one that Cena retires with him versus AJ Styles, because he always had a pretty good rivalry with him.
Did he ever have a rivalry with Seth Rollins?
Yeah, he did.
Then that's what it is. It's John Cena's turn to go to Raw for the last 3 months of his run.
Yeah, that probably
And
makes
then we will
sense.
hopefully, if plans go as they have been mapped out, we'll see him for the last Saturday night's main event of the year in December.
Yeah, is he gonna go till WrestleMania, or that Saturday night main event?
I think that his December Saturday night's main event is it.
Wow, that is insane. That's
Yeah,
gonna
he gave them a full year.
That's gonna be a huge draw then.
Yeah, it started at the Royal Rumble. He gave them a full year of premium events.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, I guess it's been quite the retirement tour. They gave him a title. They gave him the title. They turned him heel. They did everything. Everything's kind of been mapped around him.
He made
year.
European children cry.
Right. He made them cry. Yeah.
One line from R-Truth from Ron Cena from this is I almost want to say I didn't hear him right, but I think I did. Is at some point Brock was going over. So you and John Cena, you're his brother. I'm his younger brother. Yes. Here they go through, and Brock, it says from another mother, and R-Truth, without missing a beat, goes, no, we got different fathers.
Yes.
Well, like or no, we have the same father, which is like exactly the same thing that Brock said. But R-Truth was like, no, and like gave his answer. It was like
right. The answer, yeah, he said no, but he said it in a different way. Yeah.
like, no, we have the same father. It's like that's what it means.
He brilliant. Yes, and also Brock saying he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know who you are.
Which was good. All right, so
Brock hasn't been around much. He's just getting to know the folks in the organization again.
Anything else from this show you want to talk about?
No, I think we got everything. Still haven't seen Piper Niven in a while. It's been just Chelsea Green and Alba Fire backstage.
I wonder if she's
doing
hurt.
The Secret Harvest. So Piper Niven not around for another week here. I don't know what's going on with her. I hope it's not an injury or something. I enjoy her work.
Yeah,
she's perhaps a front runner for one of our awards.
Oh, she's very much a front runner. Boy.
So I hope we see her again. She's a really good worker, and she's a good character worker as well. She's done she's been the perfect person to pair with Chelsea Green for more than a year now, and she's made Chelsea Green's run extra enjoyable.
Totally.
I think that's it. I think it's drive time, isn't it?
Dom. Is it drive time?
I'm reading the screen, and it says thumb drive up there on the top of our window as we broadcast this to the world and the universe via YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitch or X, thank you very much. Please know that the mother load of content, our home base, is on YouTube. Subscribe at the YouTube. You get the archive of all these full shows, plus the edited videos and the video essays that John, you put together, and the hashtag shorts that are under 60 seconds. Premium options are available. Help us climb the next mountain. Subscribe at YouTube. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel. And one of the things we do every one of these live streams is the thumb drive. That's where you and I are going to distill this entire show that we watched into a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. There are no ties. There are also no letter grades, no number grades, no star ratings. You are taking this course, pass, fail.
Dom, we're not Dave Meltzer. We don't do star ratings. We don't do 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome. We don't do 3 stars at the ECW Arena, at the 2300 Arena in South Philadelphia. No. We don't do stars. We only just say, was the show good or was the show bad? So are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, 2 thumbs up. Dom, why'd you give this SmackDown a thumbs up?
I normally don't give a show where we only get 2 matches that finish a thumbs up. But the matches that finished went a long time. There was a lot of wrestling action, and we did get a third match that was great and ended in an acceptable non-finish, which is a double count out because both wrestlers just gave everything and had crashed through the barricade on the floor. So that's an acceptable non-finish to me. 3 great television matches that went as long combined as normally 4 or maybe even 5 matches. So this was an enjoyable show for a guy who likes professional wrestling.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. For me, this was a great example of like the 2-hour just being so much better than the 3-hour. If this had another hour of crap in it, I could have easily probably gone thumbs down just because like that's what a lot of times was happening with this SmackDown. They had so much filler, and with the 2 hours, I breezed right through it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. To your point, the women's match was good. The main event was fun. We kind of knew what was going to happen, and then Sami Zayn, Mr. Reliable, in the front end there. So not a lot of matches, 3 matches, but they're long, they're good, they're fun. And for me, you're probably going to get a lot of thumbs up because I was so the 3 hours really got to me. At one point, I was like, man, I am a little sick of this show with the 3rd hour. There was just a stretch there where it was a bit much, but now I'm liking it. So thumbs up, and I love the 2 hours. Let's keep it going.
This is like when we started doing this. I mean, back in the late summer of 2022, when you had the idea to do this, it was, well, can we find a show that we can just watch every week that's easy to watch and then live stream? And we picked SmackDown because at the time it was on broadcast TV. It was easy to watch on a Friday night. It was 8 to 10 p.m. So it was 2 hours in prime time. It was over at a reasonable hour, and there would still be time to talk about it. So yeah, but the length of the show was instrumental to us picking SmackDown way back in the beginning of Don't Bury the Lead.
And lo and behold, who would have thought the best thing to watch was something that was easy to watch that wasn't too long?
Right.
That's really, and you saw so much success after like WWE had that because like, oh, the PLEs are easy to watch. Oh, they're not super late. They're not in the middle of the night. Oh, they're only a couple hours. They're cheap. Like the Peacock was pretty relatively cheap at the time.
And it was bundled.
And it was free for us because we have Comcast. So it was like, oh wow, this is great. So it's not that hard. It just has to be easy. It has to be accessible and not long. That's all we wanted. So
yeah, so it's kind of like we're kind of halfway back, although now it's on USA, which is a little weird, but yeah, the shows have been good. I like them.
All right.
I also like something else that we do around here. It's time for Cheap Heat, isn't it?
Dom, it is time for Cheap Heat. Cheap Heat is where we talk about trending topics in the wrestling world. We talk about WWE, AEW, additional trending topics. This has been kind of the foundation of the channel that has pushed us into monetization over the 1,000 subscribers, yada, yada, yada. We found some little bit of a niche here, just talking about the trending topics and sticking and keeping up with them. And Dom, I will kick it to you.
All righty. Also, if you're watching us live and you want to jump into the live chat, this is a cool time to do it. Comment on anything we've done in recapping the show. If you have any remarks, any analysis or thoughts on what we're doing in Cheap Heat, throw those into the chat as well. Up on the screen, this comes to us from comingsoon.net. A lot of places have been covering this. Who is that pictured on our screen right now? Would you believe that is Dwayne Johnson, better known to WWE fans as The Rock? This is about his new The Smashing Machine movie. And apparently it's getting so well reviewed where it's been screened so far. There's Oscar buzz for this. This is a tremendous feather in the cap of Dwayne Johnson. He's not just an action movie star. Apparently, he's done some great work in this. The movie follows Mark Kerr, the legendary MMA fighter from the no holds barred era of the UFC. At the peak of his career, he struggles with addiction, winning love, and friendship in the year 2000. In order to portray Mark Kerr, The Rock had to bulk up. I mean, there's a little CGI involved, but I mean, The Rock is getting bigger. We noticed that he looked so jacked up when he appeared at Elimination Chamber, and before that, early in 2025, and even last year when he was at WrestleMania in the tag match with Roman Reigns, and then coming out for the WrestleMania 2024 in Philadelphia, where you were able to attend one of the nights. He looked so jacked up. A part of it was being able to play Mark Kerr, who was enormous. And so he's getting a lot of Oscar buzz, not only for his physical transformation, but also because of just the quality of action here. This is a real dramatic role for him. What say you about The Rock in this role here, and some of the early reviews coming in for him?
Just the look of him is crazy, where they actually made it so he's unrecognizable.
Yep.
Like, you're like, that's not The Rock. And then I did see like some of the previews, and I was like, okay, that kind of does look like him. It is interesting to see The Rock actually get some recognition as an actor after being such a basically money-driven actor.
Yep.
He has done all kinds of Fast and Furious, Tooth Fairy, goofball, lowbrow comedy things. He did Moana. He will just do any movie for any money. Like, he's never been like oh, I'm an actor, I'm above this. It's like, no, it's like, what is the money? How much do I get? And I will go do it. So he's always
but he's delivered, right? He's a box office champ.
But I don't think he's been respected as a like artsy fartsy, like, oh, this is a great film kind of guy.
No, he's not wearing the tinted glasses and rolling his own cigarettes like man bun Brock Lesnar.
Right. And I've seen actors like him at this point do this, and I think one that sticks out to me is Adam Sandler. They mentioned Uncut Gems in this movie. That was like a highly regarded, well-reviewed movie by all the Rotten Tomato folks. All the and the rest of his movies are like, slapstick, bro comedies. But then like he'll go off every now and then and do something artsy fartsy. So I think this is probably The Rock's attempt at it, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, very good. There's a good a review then, a pre-review that what we've seen so far from trailers and from festival reviews. It looks like a good movie to see. You are correct there. Mentioned in the article, The Smashing Machine is written and directed by Uncut Gems' Benny Safdie.
Yeah.
And they list a lot of the ensemble cast there. Johnson is also a co-producer alongside several other folks here. Venice International Film Festival, where Johnson's performance received a 15-minute standing ovation from the audience. So, like, he's getting standing ovations that last longer than some of his matches.
Interesting. And, it does make sense that if he wants to, he can act, because he already acts in live theater, which is, I'd say, harder than, going through a film and being an actor in a film where they can, cut, do it again, do it again, do it again. Like
Yep.
he's done some promos that are really long lasting, you know, and he's been very convincing his whole career in it.
Wanted to see if we can pick up maybe a still here, but one of the amazing things they did in this is I think they CGI'd out The Rock's tattoos.
Oh, okay.
Because he's got like the sleeve and all sorts of stuff. And yeah,
I guess they gave him hair too, which is he's
yes,
been
they
bald
gave
for
him
quite
hair.
some time.
The build seems to be all him because as Variety points out and others, Dwayne Johnson, he's saying he's on a huge weight loss kick here. This may be why we haven't seen him on WWE programming, is because he's rapidly changing his physical appearance, and he may not look the final boss part anymore. His weight loss is for a new acting role where he plays a 70-year-old man whose best friend is a chicken. I still have a long way to go. This is from Variety. He's shedding pounds to portray a whimsical, eccentric 70-year-old something called Chicken Man in Lizard Music. It will reunite Johnson and Benny Safdie that we just talked about. Is an acting challenge that The Rock jumped at the chance to pull off. It's also a chance for him to maybe just get off whatever substances he was taking to bulk up at the age of 50.
Right.
And be unnaturally large. Men's Fitness reacted to this. Joe Rogan and some guests were talking about this and how it's, and they weren't just crapping on Dwayne Johnson for having to take roids or whatever human growth hormone to bulk up. They're saying like this guy may have taken years off his life. He's probably got to feel relief to get off of them.
Oh, certainly. There's obvious emotional, mental things that being on the whatever he's on produces, right?
Yes.
That it makes you very irritable. It makes you very unhappy. So he probably is happy to be like, oh, I can just be a normal person now. And also, you know, he's got all that money, but we've seen it in the wrestling world. It can really end lives early. So
Yes.
it's good that he's off the gear, and I could not help but laugh at the new role as a 70-year-old man and even just the tongue twister of an explanation of what he is to play Chicken Man in Lizard Music Movie.
Well, you are not alone. BuzzFeed had the article with people's reactions online to the new movie description. I had to reread this like 12 times. Dwayne Johnson has just confirmed his next movie role, and you're not going to believe who he's playing. Reading this made me feel like I was having a stroke. If you've ever wanted to watch The Rock in a movie about chickens and magical lizards, then I have some good news for you. After his Academy Award buzz performance in The Smashing Machine, reteaming a movie adaptation of Daniel Pinkwater's 1976 kids book, Lizard Music, which I've never heard of. It follows a young boy named Victor. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this? Stay with me. Don't bury the lead universe. It follows a young boy named Victor who, while home alone, finds a secret late night broadcast of lizards playing otherworldly music. Happens every now and then. He then passes through a hidden door, which leads him to the eccentric Chicken Man, whose companion is a 70-year-old chicken named Claudia. The name Claudia is probably the most normal sounding thing in this description.
Right.
Together, they go on an adventure to discover a hidden society. Naturally, Dwayne will be playing the whimsical Chicken Man. Of course. The boy teams up with Chicken Man to uncover the truth about the lizards. It's very possible that you know all about this book already. No, there is 0% chance I knew about any of this before any of this happened. The internet's reaction to Dwayne's next project is quite hilarious. I had to reread this like 12 times. WTF did I just read? Safdie directing The Rock as a 70-year-old with a chicken bestie. This sounds absolutely bonkers, but I'm here for it. So people are excited. This seems like professional wrestling, doesn't it? This is the kind of movie they talk about making in the studio.
Right.
Reading this made me feel like I was having a stroke. This tweet became slightly more unhinged every second word. Hey, I just woke up. Can you guys also see this tweet, or am I hallucinating?
It does feel like a hallucination. It
Right?
feels like a dream, like a weird dream as you're explaining what it is. I'm like, what? No.
The Rock here in this picture, I don't know if you make it out very well. He's wearing a very dark jacket in front of a dark background, but he already looks like he is slimming down considerably.
Mm-hmm.
So already back to hopefully a much healthier weight and just physicality for him. That's all good news. Benny pitched me this after we wrapped up the Smashing Machine, and after about 45 minutes, the pitch ended. It's a 45-minute pitch? That's half the movie.
Right.
A pitch is like an elevator ride. It's 30 seconds. He needed a 45-minute pitch for this? And when the pitch ended, I said, I am your chicken man, which is what we all want to see. I'm so excited because I get a chance to hopefully transform again, like I was able to do in Smashing Machine. So I can't wait. I'm so excited because I hopefully have a good reason not to take any of this garbage that I had to pump into my body for my pro wrestling career and now for this weird biopic.
It is wild how geared up he is, and it is good for him that he doesn't have to take it anymore.
You know what, Dwayne? I'm excited too. Let us know. Are you interested in either the Smashing Machine or the Lizard People Chicken Man movie? Or are you just going to say yay or nay to anything as long as The Rock is in it, as long as Dwayne Johnson is involved? Hopefully, they are able to actually finish everything here with the new Chicken Man movie, and The Rock is able to fulfill everything he has to, because it would be a darn shame if we all went to this movie and it turned out to be Travis Scott just bitch slapping people.
Oh, yes. Avoid Travis Scott at all costs. That's the number one takeaway here. Just make sure there's no Travis Scott music. We don't need him ruining everything, because he ruined Rock's last project, right?
Very good. Up next, let's hit around to more of the wrestling world outside of the wrestling ring. MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, he's better than you. He got married to Alicia Atout, who many of the AEW wrestlers and other personnel were at this wedding. Apparently, they met back in their MLW days. Major League Wrestling, I believe, is MLW. When MJF was working there, and Alicia Tout was an interview talent, an on-screen talent, but a non-wrestler. And MJF would call her Tits McGee from Whore Island. Note to self, try that line at the bar next time.
I heard it might work, right?
Apparently, it works like a charm, because not only did Atout join MJF in AEW a couple of years later in 2023, but they are now married in this wonderful wedding. Alicia Tout put out on social media, from Tits McGee to Mrs. Friedman, I love you. So it's been a long journey. There's the wedding ceremony. MJF, of course, happy about it. Other people who joined him, that's Taz right there. Tony Khan says, best wedding ever. People said, hey, wait a minute. Didn't you go to Sammy Guevara's wedding and say the same thing?
Both 6-star
Lots
wedding.
of people. Who can you recognize in this picture? I recognize, besides MJF and Tony Khan, that looks like Tony Schiavone. That might be Hangman Page in the back. This looks like Jeff Jarrett.
Oh yeah.
These may be some female wrestlers. Is that Thunder Rosa without the face paint? I don't know. John, you watch AEW more than I do. Can you pick out any more people in this picture? This gentleman looks large, like he belongs in a wrestling ring.
Yeah. That's Hangman Adam Page for sure.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of not really controversy, but they're supposed to be in a rivalry, MJF and Hangman. So he's like, why are you at
Breaking
their wedding?
kayfabe.
Breaking the K. And also because MJF has done such an excellent job at not breaking kayfabe.
Yes.
Also, Tony is right in the middle of this picture.
Yes.
It almost looks like he's getting married.
Right? He's kicked away the bride.
It's Tony, MJF, and then and that's MJF's father. So he's like, he's in between MJF and the father. But so anyways, yeah. So I think I'm waffling here because I know who this girl is, and I just can't think of her name. She wrestled for, oh god,
Who are we looking at? 1, 2,
she's
3,
from New
4,
Jersey.
or this one here with Hangman?
She's from Philadelphia, actually. Like I think
Okay.
she's probably from South Jersey and says Philadelphia, because
Okay.
she Penelope Ford. There it is.
Okay.
And that's
Which
her
one? Point her
husband.
out.
The girl in the black, all the way on the left.
This here with Hangman.
Hangman is just above. He's got
Here.
yeah. He's like
This guy in the sunglasses is with Penelope Ford.
yeah. They're married. I forget what
Okay.
his name is,
Very good.
but
Yes,
obviously he's a wrestler.
As this picture clearly shows, the first time they laid eyes on each other, Tony Khan knew that he loved MJF and wanted to be with him forever.
Right. Yeah, it's like Tony married MJF.
Daniel Garcia was apparently also there. Some of the names that they were added into the article here. So very good stuff. Congratulations to MJF and to Alicia Atout. Now Alicia Friedman, apparently. This is great stuff. Also from TNA. This comes to us from WrestleZone. JDC, formerly known as Fandango, got married to Emily Violet, also attended by several current and former TNA stars, including, as we mentioned earlier, Drew McIntyre, who wrestled for many years there as Drew Galloway. Also, Santino Marella, who you may recognize from his WWE days, and Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. I remember Eddie Edwards as well from the old Ring of Honor and TNA days. The real-life Curtis Jonathan Hussey, who wrestles as Johnny Dango Curtis, JDC for short, because everything's better when it's just 3 syllables.
Right.
So very good for him. Wedding pictures as well. Everybody here is too blurry for me to point out if anybody here is a current or former wrestler. But hey, good news for everybody. Great stuff. Life goes on outside of the wrestling ring. Do you have any memories of Fandango in the WWE? I do not.
Yeah. Fandango was a little underrated.
Okay.
He just had this gimmick where he danced to the ring and the crowd would always dance with him, but then it never really went much further than that. With Breezango, that was actually a good tag team. They basically were just like, they were a little bit like Prince Prince Pretty and
Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly. They were somewhat like Pretty Deadly, but they were more like Fashion Police. But they actually pulled it off. That is the asterisk, because you could read that and be like, oh no, they're like Fashion Police people, but no, that was good.
Had a high-profile feud with Chris Jericho. Do you remember that? I mean, anytime you're wrestling with Jericho, that's got to be a big deal.
I only very kind of watched WWE at that point, so I know that I liked the comedy gimmick, but I'm not so sure. I don't really remember anything that he did. He was a good comedy jobber. And I think they
Okay.
eventually got some sort of wins because they were just over with the crowd.
All right, very good stuff. Santino Marella, do you remember him from his WWE days? I vaguely do. He was around a long time ago.
He had the snake sock puppet thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was backstage gold, almost like R-Truth is now, where the obliviousness plays into it.
Right.
Santino Marella, I remember the tail end of his WWE run. He would purposely get people's names wrong every now and then backstage. Like he would talk about John Cena.
What?
Let me tell you something, John Cena. You know.
The thing with guys like that is they're so important because there are these times, these in between matches where you need something to keep the show entertaining. And
Yes.
a lot of the comedy stuff flops. Like when the comedy flops, it's bad, right?
Yes.
It's got to be good. So when you have an R-Truth that can do anything, they can get plugged anywhere on the show where there's a gap. We're okay, we'll R-Truth it up here. Santino also kind of played that role. Not as R-Truth is the king.
They're very different.
Let's face it, but Santino, I know, was good in the comedy stuff as well.
And they were both excellent wrestlers when they had a chance to do that earlier in their career. Now, the key to being the comedy guy is you have to be the comedy guy who does it in a way that lets the other guy be the straight man to you being the punchline guy.
Right.
Like if the other guy has to be involved in your slapstick, then it doesn't work because now you're getting the other guy to break his character.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do your thing in a way that's lighthearted and provides some levity while also accentuating the other guy's kayfabe. And Santino was brilliant as that, and so is Ron Killings.
No, it's a great point because not everyone, most people really shouldn't be doing too much of the comedy stuff anyway. So it should be where they're the straight man. Yeah.
Yeah. Like nobody else has to do comedy except Ron Killings, and the segment works.
Exactly.
In fact, if the other guys try to, it doesn't work. It was the same thing with Santino.
Right.
Like he did his thing, and you just had to play your kayfabe, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It just worked. So good for them. Well, good for everybody involved here. Last up in cheap heat, Nikki Bella's been getting a nice run here in WWE. This comes to us from WrestleZone, talking about Nikki Bella's recent appearance on Sport Bible, where she talked about her Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. These are always fun. She named Mae Young, Trish Stratus, Rhea Ripley, and Natalya. Not a bad Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. It's very WWE heavy, but that's to be expected. Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the chat if you want to do it live chat as you're watching us in the live stream here. Who four foundational wrestlers are on your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling? The greatest of all time, however you want to define that. Is it just the people you enjoy watching the most? Is it the people who you think mattered the most to women's wrestling over the years, over the different eras? Do you want to pick a different person, one person from each era? Do you want to just pick your four favorite? Do you want it to be top heavy because there are so many more women's wrestlers now in the last 20 years than there had been in, the 80 years before that? So Nikki Bella's were, she says, let's put Mae Young on for what she did for women's wrestling. Let's do Trish Stratus for what she's done for women's wrestling. So like another generation, another era. If we're going to talk present right now, let's put up Rhea Ripley for what she's doing for women's wrestling. These are people who very recently, Rhea Ripley is in a program sort of with Nikki Bella here, coming to her defense. And then lastly, she starts talking about her feud with Becky Lynch. Says, do you put Becky Lynch there? Well, then you'd have to put me there if I beat her. How about for the fourth one, I'm going to say Natty Neidhart. So her four: Mae Young, Trish Stratus, Rhea Ripley, Natalya. What say you about the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling? Who would your four be and why? And what do you say about Nikki Bella's?
Boy, This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
I would axe Mae Young and put the Fabulous Moolah for sure. I think the
Mhm.
Moolah might be like 1,
Yeah.
quite frankly. I think with
Mhm.
all her longevity and how long she was a joke character as like an elderly person that won
Yeah.
the women's title and was in the 80s winning titles. So like
Yep.
her longevity alone, she's way up there.
Mhm.
And then I think you probably have to pick a couple modern era women. I think Trish Stratus is a Natalia for sure.
Okay.
Natalia for sure. Um and I think I'm gonna go 2 modern era ones because the modern era has just been so much better than the other eras. So if
Okay.
I'm gonna go modern era, Asuka and boy, let's go Asuka, and then any one of a couple girls can get it. But I'll just say recency bias. I've been liking Mercedes Moné a lot. I'll put
Okay.
Mercedes Moné on there.
Very good. For me, I would go Fabulous Moolah for her longevity and for all she did in trying to keep women's wrestling there. I would also pick someone from the dead era of women's wrestling where it almost disappeared. Sherry Martel.
Oh
Sensational
yeah.
Sherry, scary Sherry, tremendous athlete
Mm-hmm.
who, if there was a women's division, would have dominated in any era. But she would get in there, and you know how sometimes the valets interfere? Sherry would interfere by tripping someone, quickly climbing to the top rope, and cross bodying somebody while wearing an evening gown and then rolling out of the ring. Sherry Martel is on there with the Fabulous Moolah. When women's wrestling made its comeback and really kick-started the era of, look, the women can be great athletes, and there's a lot of them who are willing to learn and do this. I'm partial to Gail Kim. And
Ah.
then you see the fruits of it, which is the last 10 years or so. And the best of the women of the last 10 years, I'm going to say, is Becky Lynch. I think mic work,
Wow.
in-ring work, being able to be a babyface, be a heel. People don't realize how quickly in her career she transcended wrestling. She was last decade doing ESPN commercials as Becky Two Belts.
Yeah. She
I don't
has had a
think
lot of
people realize how big a deal Becky Lynch was. Like, she came around at the perfect time to co-opt that Conor McGregor persona that was taking MMA by storm.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is the
And
Connor.
Becky filled the role. I think it's Fabulous Moolah, Sherry Martel for keeping women's athleticism alive when it could have just died off completely. Gail Kim for the comeback, and Becky Lynch is the best of the modern last 10 years, 15 years, where we've seen what women's wrestling can be when you give them a chance to be tremendous athletes. And if you wanted to, and I know that in a way that's unfair to the modern wrestlers because there's so many more of them, you could just pick 4 from the modern era. But I do want to, since it's a Mount Rushmore and it's supposed to be something that's maybe foundational, I'm
Mhm.
going to think of it that way and try and go that progression.
I like it.
But
I like it a
there's
lot.
and an argument can be made for lots of other people, especially the modern era wrestlers.
Yes.
That may be the toughest one, and maybe there's a recency bias because Becky Lynch is doing some excellent work right now as a heel. And
I
in
definitely
fact, I
have
wish
reasons
that she
to
would teach her husband how to actually be a heel when you're supposed to be a heel. Like, it can be done. Hello, your wife's doing it.
your wife is doing it much better than you.
Even
Stop.
though she's as popular as you are and people want to cheer for her, she's doing the heel thing and getting boos and putting the other person over as the babyface. Nick
Oh,
from the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. How are you this evening? Thank you for the congrats. You are getting close on your channel. You and Nicole are getting very close to 1,000, aren't you? So cheers to you for your climb up that big mountain there. Very good. Nick, tell us, who's your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling? If you want to do it now or you want to save it for a segment on your show that you guys do. We went through Nikki Bella's here, and then John and I gave ours. I think these are always fun.
These are really fun. I believe a short video will be coming of this as well.
There you go.
You
We
know,
can always get pictures of all these wrestlers. They're around.
there's a
So
couple.
yeah, Nikki Bella says Mae Young, Trish Stratus, Rhea Ripley, Natalia. I say Fabulous Moolah, Sherry Martel, Gail Kim, Becky Lynch, and John. Fill people in on what yours was.
I said the Fabulous Moolah. I think she's number one.
Mm.
I just because of how her longevity. You know, she and then all she's done in the 80s. She wrestled when she was a very elderly woman and won the title. Like she like had the training school. She was wrestling with Vince Senior, like, and she's just been and was in wrestling for so long and was over for so long, and was like really stiff and mean with people. It was just like, and she always looked like around 50 plus years old, even when she wasn't. When she just looks nasty. She looked like a nasty woman. So you know, she just, there was something about her that was like, this woman is perfect to dislike. She's just a nasty person. But you know, so I always loved her. So I put her at like my number one, but in the Mount Rushmore. Nikki Bella. Excuse me, not Nikki Bella.
Trish
Natalia.
Stratus, I think you said, Natty Neidhart, and did you say Asuka?
I said
Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks.
I picked three modern people, and the reason I picked three modern people is because I feel that the modern scene has been so much bigger than like when you know, Fabulous Moolah was in it. Like women's wrestling is legitimized a lot more. So
there are more women wrestling now in the last 10 years than wrestled in the previous 90.
Exactly. So I said Natalia, Asuka, and then the fourth one, I went through a big list of women that could easily be on there. I could easily have put Rhea Ripley. I could have easily put Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. I could have put, but I said Mercedes Moné, and that's just recency bias.
Those are good picks, though. I mean, the thing about recency bias is when you talk about women's wrestling, it is a recency bias industry.
Yes, and Sasha Banks had a match against Bayley in NXT, which at that time was highly regarded as the greatest women's match ever. If you do ever go back, check it out. It's very good. There's during the match, Sasha's playing heel, and she yells at a little girl, and the little girl cries uncontrollably after she yells at her. And then she goes into the ring and she like starts dancing after the girl's crying. And it's like, it was like the best heel work I'd ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know, either it was a really good job at the girl being a plant, or the girl really cried. She just lost it and cried because she was like Bailey's number one fan.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I'm a hugger, and all this stuff. And she loved Bailey. And Sasha Banks yelled at her so bad that she started to cry.
That's fantastic. And all these years later, John Cena copied it during the European leg.
Right.
Very good. That's all I got. It's pathologically frugal. It is still in South Jersey as the summer wanes, unseasonably warm. What is it, John?
Dom, it's cheap heat.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Fun stuff. A lot of movie stuff, some out of the ring stuff, and hey, a trip down our knowledge of history and fandom there with a Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling.
Yeah. Good show, Dom. Definitely fun to get back on the saddle on the Saturday nights. I like the Saturday nights. There's we can go plenty long here. I was just looking up if I can't say it. Oh, here it is. I'll share my screen. I hope there's no volume.
Very good.
You say you don't.
Oh, you could have just used it in the back. Okay, there's a little girl crying. Oh.
He took something from her and then threw it at her, and then she cried, and the parents had to console her. If it was a work,
okay.
I was tricked. Because I was like, whoa, did she really do? And I couldn't tell if it was a work or not, but either way, it was great.
Well, if she took something away from the child, that could be a little traumatizing.
Yeah, that's even more aggressive to not just. I thought if I remember correctly, did she yell at her? I was like, no, she didn't yell at her. She took something from her. Okay, that's why she's really upset. she got hit by one of the wrestlers. She's probably terrified.
Right? This is the kind of thing that Tony Khan would have outlawed in AEW.
Yes.
No taking stuff from audience members.
When there was a little kid that was giving him crap, and that he was with his mom, and he took his mom's drink and spilled it on the kid that was yelling at him, and yeah, he got in trouble for that. They were like, "Don't do that."
Was that MJF? That sounds like an MJF thing.
MJF did that. I mean, it was fantastic.
And yet they worked through it, and so Tony Khan forgave him, and they got married.
And then they got married. Hey, that's what happens sometimes. Couples, they fight, right?
They fight a little bit, but they work through it. They're very strong. So
yeah, it's such a weird picture with Tony Khan in the middle of it, like he's the one getting married. I love Tony though. He's just he's an interesting cat.
How's AEW been doing as a product? You've been watching it. You got a chance to go to some live events when they were in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena recently, right?
Mm-hmm. The 2300 Arena shows have been fun.
Okay, you put a shorts up on our channel as well. Go, everybody, take a look at that. Is it Jon Moxley's entrance?
Mm-hmm. But I went one time. It was tough to see, and the reason it was tough to see is because you're sitting on the floor. So you're sitting on the floor, it's okay. But then once people start to stand up, then you're standing, and then whoever's taller in front of you just sees. Mm-hmm. So that was tough. Also, we went there once. We got the tickets. They were only $50. It was awesome. And I looked at the secondary market. The tickets are crazy. It was like $150 to go see Ring of Honor. So they ran a Ring of Honor show. It was $150 because the stadium is so small and there's just a lot of demand for it. I was going to go to the Collision on Thursday night, and there was no tickets because they have bleachers there, because I wanted to sit in the bleachers so I could see. But there was no tickets in the bleachers, so I'm like, I'm not going to spend $120 to not see again. So
yeah.
But it was cool. It was really cool. It was cool to check out the arena. The arena is really nice. You could tell they dumped some money to clean it up. It's like really, really cool. Like they have like cool artwork on the wall as you enter. And to your right, there's a full bar. So, you have your full bar, and then they're selling like the snack food up front, and they have the t-shirts for sale. And then you go to your left, and you just enter right into that little area. Like you're like walking by cameras when you go in, literally. The second you walk in, they have like the camera guys are right there, and they're telling you to stand sometimes. Like you have to wait for them, and then they're like, go. Because they're like, everyone's just packed in there,
Wrestling finance standpoint. We've talked before about AEW trying to find their way with these live shows and perhaps booking smaller arenas on the 5,000 seat and under, so that instead of having to cover like the upper deck of a huge arena, instead they've got a packed house. People are closer to the action. The acoustics are better when the crowd is cheering or booing or doing anything. Did you get that sense being in an arena the size of the 2300 building there in South Philly?
Yeah, the crowd was electric the whole time.
Okay.
So even though the crowd's not big, to get a small crowd that's real hot it's almost just as good, right? Rather than a bit, it's like sometimes with crowds, it can be like a pot of boiling water, right? If you get more
Mhm.
water in there, it takes a little bit longer to get that boiling, right? It could take some
Yep.
time. You get that little pot, it boils quicker. So, um,
Especially when you're doing tapings for television. Like
certainly.
you want the atmosphere to be a certain way.
Hmm.
And you don't always need the enormous arena. If you keep the cameras just focused on the ring and the entrance, you don't need to do the wide angle look where we are tonight shot of the arena. You
Yeah.
can just focus on the wrestling action.
Yeah. It was cool. And I feel like a little bit that it was cool that they did the whole tour there
Mhm.
because, but I kind of wish, well, I should say this. I kind of wish there were bleachers on all sides there rather than the floor seats because then you'd
Mhm.
be able to see.
Yep.
Um, but at the end of the day, it looks good on TV, and I think what they've been doing as a strategy has looked good, using unique arenas, using unique theaters too. They do theaters a lot, and some of them are beautiful, and it's like, wow, this is really cool.
Yep.
Um, and then they do a pay per view. They did a pay per view in Philly at the Leah Core Center, and 10,000 people were there. So you could still, it's still hot enough where if they do a pay per view, 10,000 people from Philly are going to go there. But it's not all their pay per views sell out. It's just the collisions. That's where you get trouble. People don't
Mhm.
care. Collision is like a dead show. I mean, if they were to say Collision's done, I'd say, not a bad idea.
Well, Dynamite's been doing that's their kind of flagship on Wednesdays, right?
The flagship still does well.
Are they still doing Rampage on Fridays, or have they gotten rid of that and they're just doing Dynamite and Collision on Saturdays?
They canceled Rampage.
And is
That
Collision still on Saturdays?
Yeah, and Collision's on Saturdays. That's
Okay.
just and I've read some stuff that it's doing really well. Like there's a lot of good stuff on it. I've been to 2 Collisions. They're not Collision's a totally different beast. Whereas
Mm.
SmackDown and Raw are almost the same exact thing except for the color scheme. As far as like how good it is, like if you watch a
Okay.
Raw or you watch a SmackDown, there's a big drop off with Collision just because it has not picked up the momentum. I don't know that they just don't have the demand for a second show.
Mm.
So with Collision though, it is cool when they do smaller venues. Like I saw Collision in Atlantic City, and Atlantic
Yes.
City has kind of a theater there that we watched them in.
Was it the
Uh,
convention center or
conven-
somewhere else?
Convention Center, yeah.
Okay. That
The-
could be a pretty big arena. That can hold a couple thousand people, right? Or am
yeah.
I way off?
No, you're right. It can hold a couple thousand, but that's one section. I think there's 2 different stadiums in there. We went to so I've been to it twice. The one time I went was for Dynamite, and they used that full venue. The second time, it was just one row. It's like one big, large thing of bleachers. Then it's for like a stage. It's for like if you're to watch a show.
Okay.
So then there's the stage. There's like huge thing of bleachers. Then there's a stage, and then there's like everyone sitting around, just like sitting on seats.
Okay.
And there was a couple thousand people, but that was sold out. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like a little tinier arena for them, a theater, really. And some of
Very
the
good.
theaters are beautiful. I mean, it looks so much nicer than like the Wachovia Center, which is like lifeless building. You know?
How have their new streaming stuff going? Have you been able to check out some of their stuff on Max streaming, or have the TV programs been accessible to you and then pay-per-views wherever they put them?
Yeah, the pay per views you just have to pay for, and then the HBO you really have to. I don't watch it on HBO necessarily, but I can. I
Okay.
have it on cable. One day when I get rid of cable, I'll watch it on HBO instead. I actually like it better on HBO because when they go to the commercial break, they don't have commercials. They just give you a break.
Huh.
Yeah. So there's just silence during the commercial breaks, which is good. Um, and that's the last time I watched it. I don't know if that's changed since, but I believe there's no commercials.
Okay. Very good. So things are going well for AEW.
I'm of the opinion that um, WWE was getting really hot, and it's kind of sizzled off a bit from
Okay.
where they were at. Cody Rhodes as champ, CM Punk coming back, that whole thing. I feel like it's kind of leveled off, and I feel like AEW, once CM Punk left, had a lot of crap going on, but they had crap going on before then. They got the deal with HBO, and now once they got the deal with HBO, it's been better, and they have a really robust roster, like a really full roster of young guys. They just found them, and they're just good.
Very good. Good
Yeah.
wrestling going on. You mentioned WWE and leveling off. They're trying to expand. They did announce WrestleMania 43 will be in Saudi Arabia in 2027.
Oh, we forgot this for Cheap Heat.
They mentioned it during the program. They've been saying it on during SmackDown. It was mentioned as well, but it was just the kind of thing
This
that,
is Cheap
it's gonna
Heat. Cheap Heat. WWE WrestleMania headed to Saudi Arabia. Dom, what do you think of this?
I thought that when the announcement was made, Logan Paul was part of it. So was Liv Morgan, who we haven't seen in a while. She's injured. So when you're promoting something that's happening 2 years from now, that gives you a glimpse as to who they think they're going to be the top stars in a year and a half to 2 years. It's the first time it's outside of North America. WrestleMania will be outside of North America. So, AEW moved their biggest pay-per-view outside of North America before WWE did.
Right.
WWE was always hesitant to take the granddaddy of them all outside of the US or Canada.
Mhm.
And they haven't even been to Canada that often, I don't think. So this is the first time going overseas. They have a big relationship with, they've got a big WWE Performance Center or something or other over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, or that vicinity metropolitan area already. They're over there at least once or twice a year for other premium live events. So, hey, why not? Let's go to the desert. They've been to the desert in Las Vegas. Go to the desert in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania.
It is weird because a lot of times they go to places where people would want to go and travel for like
Yes.
tourism stuff. So
Yes.
they'll do Vegas, they do New Orleans. Hey, they did Philly. I mean, Philly's probably better than Saudi Arabia. But
And they
yeah,
did the big football stadium in Philly.
yeah, they did the link. They, they hit up big cities in the U.S. that are. It's a good time of year to go, right? They don't do like Toronto in the winter, stuff
Right.
like that. Like they use it as a tourist attraction. So it is interesting to see this be in Saudi Arabia, where I won't imagine a lot of people would want to take that trip, but we'll have to see, right?
From the US, maybe not, but I wonder if people in the Mediterranean area might go over there, or do they think they can fill whatever size venue they're going to use for? And it's got to be a 2-night thing, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to do SmackDown Friday, 2-night WrestleMania, then they're probably going to do Raw. So it's going to be 4 nights in a row there of
And
big time wrestling in Saudi Arabia. I would imagine around WrestleMania time in 2027.
yeah, you need to have a rabid fan base to handle the Raw, like the 2 nights, the SmackDown and the Raw is supposed to be crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's weird is like, the way that country's government's set up. And I'm not blaming the people, I'm blaming the government. Like, do they give will they sell the tickets to US people, or is it a state run thing where they're going to give people tickets? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or will they have some tickets set aside for people wanting to travel?
Yeah, maybe they do, like, oh, if you want to go travel to Saudi Arabia, here's the package.
And WWE does a lot of cool things around WrestleMania like that. They do the Fan Fest or whatever they call it, the big fan experience where you're supposed to be able to buy these extra packages around WrestleMania and do lots of other things other than just go to the matches that night.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much of that will be available outside of the US and especially in Saudi Arabia. That would be interesting.
And another thing is like all of these Saudi shows, I have never seen like your stereotypical fans. Like there's the guy with the green shirt with a smiley face who sits in the front of, and he's at every big show. Like, is the green shirt smiley face going to be there with all of the princes that are sitting in the front? Like, I don't think so. You're right. The prince and his
Yeah,
family.
all the plants will not be there. The little girl who cries when someone takes her hair scrunchie will not be there.
They're all wearing, what is that thing called? The
Some of them wear turbans. I
the
believe some
headdress.
of the women may. Yeah, there are different types of cultural garments they wear. Maybe some of them are burqas. I
Mhm.
don't know exactly what tells them apart, but yes, there are various cultural garments that are worn some by men and by women in different parts of the world. So yeah,
Well, Sammy better be winning the title. My gosh, right? They love him there.
is this the beginning of a 20-month run whereby Sami Zayn gets ready for his world title opportunity at WrestleMania 43?
Yeah, they love him there, and he loves them back. So that should be
Mhm.
really interesting. I did see some backlash about this. Basically, what had happened was when they went YouTube live. Um, they had a chat, and the chat was like brutal. They were just saying
Oh,
awful things. They're like,
you're like, this is your big announcement?
this is like, you sold out. A lot of people were like, you sold out, blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. Stuff about the Saudi government, blah 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 blah. Like, there's an opinion out there. It may not be the right one, but it's out there.
It
About
happens every time the WWE does a show in Saudi Arabia. It happens to other sporting leagues that do that. It happened to the Las Vegas based, not Las Vegas based, the LIV golf tour, which
yeah.
was competing with the PGA for a
Mhm.
while. So anytime you're involved at all with Saudi Arabia, because their government is always very heavily involved in things. But I mean that happens in a lot of places. I mean, Puerto Rico, the Chamber of Commerce and government connected bodies are always heavily involved when you go to the other places. You kind of get used to the way things work in most of the US, although even now, the WWE picked Las Vegas 2 years in a row
Right.
because they get tremendous tax breaks and credits for doing things in Las Vegas, with bringing in some backstage workers who live in Las Vegas or who live in Nevada. They get all sorts of breaks. So there's all sorts of trying to massage the political powers that be, no matter where you go.
Had they done a WrestleMania in Indianapolis?
They
No.
were supposed to, and they took it away from them and
Yeah.
moved 2026 WrestleMania 42 to Las Vegas 2 years in a row. And for that, they promised Indianapolis or New Orleans as well.
New Orleans, yeah.
New Orleans got, I think, promised one of the WrestleManias. So, yeah, there's a few places that the WWE had maybe some handshake agreements with,
Mhm.
and they're trying to do better. Like this WrestlePalooza coming up. This was a very hastily put together premium live event,
Mhm.
and it's in Indianapolis. So I wonder if the WWE sort of owed Indianapolis something, the way they
Yeah.
kind of owe New Orleans something for taking WrestleMania away from them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is crazy that they just keep taking it away from people after they announce it. Yes, there is an official agreement that promises Indianapolis will host WrestleMania in the future. Um, they don't know which year it will take place.
Well, it ain't going to be
Uh,
earlier than 2028.
So apparently they just keep pushing it because there's more money to be made, and who knows if they're if like, and Indianapolis is just like, okay, guys, we're ready whenever you want.
Whenever you want, we got this big stadium here.
Yeah. Yeah, so there has been a promise. I don't know if it's a handshake promise, but it's been promised to them, and New
Yeah.
Orleans as well. Like they just don't get it now. It's not like they skipped it a year and then they just. Oh, okay. You would have thought it would be like New Orleans would get it it would go Vegas, New Orleans, then maybe Indianapolis, but
Now it's Vegas, Saudi Arabia.
Vegas, Saudi Arabia.
And by the time anybody else gets a shot, it'll be 2028.
Yeah, it's going to be weird too because it'll be afternoon, right? WrestleMania going to be in the afternoon.
Yeah, it will be. My goodness, it'd be like a 1 p.m. start for us here in the East Coast.
I wonder how they're going to promote it here locally too. Like they
Yeah.
usually go crazy promoting WrestleMania on all platforms. Are they going to be like a little bit more hush hush? Are they going to be like, I don't know. I could see some different reporters being like, "Oh, are you comfortable going to Saudi Arabia?" Like rather than, "Oh, we're excited. Who are you wrestling?"
That's a huge show. That's a great point because it's a 2-night show. Almost the whole roster is there. So it will be more difficult to keep people off of that trip for various reasons. Like for years, Sami Zayn wouldn't do Saudi Arabia shows.
He wasn't allowed.
He's the wrong kind of Arab person. His ancestors are Syrian.
So stupid.
And there was a big political tiff diplomatically between Syria and Saudi Arabia. And so when they finally cleared that up, that's when Sami Zayn was able to make that trip finally. And he got the hero's welcome.
Right, and he got a hero's welcome. And Goldberg, he did a match there, and he was really scared to go there because he's Jewish.
Yes.
He's like, you want me to go to where? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I should be going there.
Yeah.
But they might not. They didn't seem to care, which is good. I mean, that's good on them that they didn't care. And then Kevin Owens wouldn't go in solidarity with Sami Zayn. Because when they said, "Oh yeah, Sami can't go," he said, "Well, I'm not going if you're not letting Sami go."
So I imagine if the WWE is planning a WrestleMania there, in addition to everything else they do, that they've received considerable assurances from the Saudi government that they will be treated respectfully. All of their crew will be treated respectfully. All of the performers, the wrestlers, everybody else will be treated well when they go there, and there will not be any discrimination against them.
Dom, I'm going to step away. I'll be right back.
Okay. And he has left the thumb drive background up on the screen. Oh my goodness. I guess I have to go through and give thumbs up to a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Announcement of the WrestleMania 43 being moved to Saudi Arabia. I'm going to give that one a thumbs down only because, WrestleMania is huge. I don't think you need to gimmick it up that much. I like it in the States. It's the granddaddy of them all. I like it in a big football arena for 2 days in the U.S. I think that's a fantastic evolution of what that whole weekend has become. Let's see what else. Let's see. We did obviously thumbs up to each of the marriages we covered in Cheap Heat. Thumbs up to MJF and to Johnny Dango Curtis. Thumbs up to each of you and your lovely brides on your weddings and your new marriages. All best to you there. Let's see, what else can I do a thumb drive on? The Rock's new movie. Apparently, he's getting lots of thumbs up. I'll give him a thumbs up for getting off of whatever he was on to bulk up like that. And I hope it's not a thumbs down for The Rock's health. I hope he's able to recover and hasn't suffered any permanent damage doing this kind of stuff to his body. You are muted at the moment.
I hope it's not a thumbs down to his health.
All right. And the Chicken Man thing, that seems to be a thumbs up just for the weirdness of it.
The Rock goes to the doctor and he goes, thumbs up or thumbs down. He said, I'm
Right.
sorry. It's a thumbs down.
It's like, I'm sorry, there are no ties. We've got to give you the thumbs down. There are no star ratings. There are no letter grades. There are no number grades. It's just you're taking this physical pass fail, and it's not looking good. We're gonna give it a slight thumbs down there,
It's like thumbs down.
and not because it took you 3 hours either.
Oh man.
Not because it took us 3 hours to find a vein for your blood work.
Right. Yeah. So Dom, great segue, great save. I like you doing the thumbs up here. We only had one. We only have like someone hanging on here, but they haven't been chatting, which is great. If you want to just
Very
listen,
good.
that's cool.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate you being on.
Thanks for listening. Much appreciated. If you have anything you want to say, now's the time, as we're going to just be talking about everything. I have a little bit more time here, Dom, and I was almost.
You want to do this again next Saturday, even though we'll be competing with the WrestlePalooza?
Interesting.
Do we want to try and push it to Sunday and see if we can each watch a replay of the premium live event, or do you want to just do SmackDown?
I would say this. Let me look at my calendar. Do you want to do a preview of WrestlePalooza? Like a preview show?
I don't know, because usually we save previews for things that matter.
Touche.
I don't know if there's enough buzz to actually preview it.
If we preview it,
we will miss. Don't bury the lead universe. We will have some difficulty the weekend after that for September 26th SmackDown. 27th is the Saturday. 28th is the Sunday. We do have some things going on. At least I know on the 27th.
Yeah, that's right. We will miss because we will be having my 40th birthday party in my backyard. We could log on, but I may be several
live.
beers in.
We're gonna go live with Don't Bury the Lead.
I'll ruin the
with
party.
All sorts of extra people in the booth.
Yeah, what do you got to say? What do you got to say?
There's gonna be a lot of thumbs up and thumbs down there.
I should just live stream it and see who wants to talk.
Right.
I've seen that sometimes people do that on Twitch, or they're like, "Oh, we got people over. Let's go live on Twitch." Maybe we'll do something like that.
I know people in tech who just go on Twitch and live stream themselves coding. And people love to watch that because it's if you're a really good coder, people just want to shadow you. So that's kind of a cool thing that happens.
Yeah. So Dom, I did want to ask you, first of all, that's awesome you're coming. Do you know how you're going to get here?
Yeah, the Patco stops right there in Collingswood.
Yeah. So you're going to take the bus to the Patco?
Bus to Walter Rand and then the Patco.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like I used to go to Philly, bus to Rand and Patco across the river.
Okay, that's not too bad for you, right?
No.
Okay. I'm saying that because I was wondering if I should tell
Send me
Steve.
your exact street address so I know exactly where. Don't dox yourself on the live stream. Just...
No, I'll send you the exact street address. I was wondering if you could bum a ride with Steve and Nick. Maybe you could bum a ride home or something.
I mean, if it's not going to be an all-night party, unless, of course, the live stream gets really cooking. So,
yeah, it really probably depends on what with the party. It's supposed to be 4 to 7, and then if anybody wants to go to a bar afterwards, they can.
So it's like a non-major WWE premium live event.
Exactly.
It's from 4 to 7.
It's 4 to 7, and guess what? Shorter is better. That's what I was saying earlier. Shorter is better. We don't got to do a big thing where we're gonna go. Oh, we'll start it. You'll come at 5, and we'll be going till 11. Like something crazy like that. Like no. No. We don't need to do
No, we
6
need to do
hours.
the 3-hour premium live event.
You do the 3-hour and you start the Italian goodbye around 2.5 hours. 2 hours and 30
Sure.
minutes. You got to start saying goodbye because we're.
Oh, I wonder if I should take notes and we should recap the birthday party.
That would be great.
Yeah.
and that's what our next show is.
Right. Don't bury the lead. What's our top story? Well, with so many former indie wrestlers at the party.
Right. A scuffle broke out.
A scuffle broke out. Someone went through a table.
One person will at least do one move. That's a lock.
Yeah, right.
Right onto the ground,
Right.
We'll start chopping each other a little bit.
Two-word headlock takeover.
Yeah, that's great. So we've got so I'm glad you're coming. That's awesome, and you're gonna make your way here. Also, very curious, have you talked about Jade Cargill with your colleagues?
No, not since the first time he told me, yeah, I know this wrestler. Her name is Jade, from the Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
I
Interesting.
mean, she's getting a push. Let's see if they put a belt on her.
We have a champ on the show. That would be insane.
Right? Getting a push. She's getting a push. She's worked her way to the point where she could, feasibly have a belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw this guy that's friends. This guy on YouTube. He's like a very small creator. He just tried to get into wrestling creator stuff, and he interviewed Charlotte Flair. So I think I think they take a lot of interviews. Like they're almost expected to, or they want to, kind of get their name out there. And I mean, his channel is smaller than ours. It was like he has one short that has 1 million views, so he's got like 400 or 500 subs from that short. And it was Darby Allin being thrown into a table, and then all of his other videos have like no views because he's just starting. But he's only got the high sub. He probably should have only like 50 subs, really, realistically, because he just started.
I've seen that sometimes when people are involved in other media, like local radio stations that do wrestling shows, and then they have like the social media feed as their side thing.
Mm-hmm.
So their real popularity comes from, say, actually the actual radio show.
Yeah.
Or the simulcast from the radio station if you want to tune in live there. And the YouTube thing is just a kind of a side hustle. Or just, an alternative thing for people who just use YouTube.
Yeah, it's interesting. The guy is a Q102 DJ.
Okay.
So, and I mean, I just noticed him, and I said, "Yo, man, great video." I didn't even know who he was. I saw the video, and I was there. I was like, "Yo, I was there. Great video. Just subscribe." Because I subscribe to all the smaller YouTubers, and then I realized,
okay, very good.
That's the guy.
Yeah, Don't Bury the Lead is YouTube native. We're not coming from some other media form or other media outlet. This is, wherever you're catching us live, the mother load of content is at YouTube. We are a YouTube native channel. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube. The full live stream archive. All of the things we do, the edited video clips that you make, the essays, the shorts. It was just 1 year ago that you put out a video where we talked about LA Knight and Ludwig Kaiser in Germany and that fantastic match they had that we were just talking about how Sami Zayn is doing sort of that same thing that LA Knight did, where he's the kind of wrestler who can be on TV every week and wrestle guys from the mid and low card and elevate them, even though, he's going to keep the belt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there. Check that. That was last September that video came out, because the Berlin Brawl was end of August.
Missed opportunity with that name.
Right.
All right, Dom. I think we have Italian goodbye like crazy.
We have.
Thank you.
Thumbs up to the Italian goodbye today.
I'm glad we did the long Italian goodbye because then forgot we missed the WrestleMania talk. Like, hello, why that could have led the show. And then we also, we only have one person watching, so thank you who's watching. Much appreciated. Dom, thank you for your time as always. We'll be back here next week. We'll be doing some sort of show, but I'm not
Yep.
so sure what it's going to be. So thanks for joining. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. The one person watching from YouTube, please do so. And have a great rest of your evening.